Shalom, shalom, shalom. Alright, call hello Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Rakah. Once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. I'd like to send salutations out also to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways pushing the truth across these four corners of the earth. Alright, while we're trying to wake up the remaining, hopefully late, because time indeed is very short. This is Naaman at the DC camp, Great Millstone. And hey, back for another video. This one, sadly enough, we're going to have an Edomite from Great Britain. As the title says, we are the problem, not so-called black people. Alright, English man exposed Western hypocrisy, and that's exactly what it is, Western hypocrisy. I have a mic here because this particular computer here is kind of low on, receiving sound, that is. And the output too, don't know what exactly is wrong. Could be the card, I don't know. But in any case, I'll try to get through this. It says, by Uncut Africa Alive. Alright. As the scripture says, you're supposed to take care of home first. And lately we haven't had for many years, but especially lately we haven't had a good example here in America. Because it seems as though they're helping everyone else except their fellow Americans. Alright, and that's by design. Alright, don't fool yourself. Alright, they've had this planned out for a long time. But in any case, let's stay on point with this one. I'm going to go ahead and play this video, and it's sad that, as he's going to get into later, I won't jump the gun, but he's going to go into how, and yeah, it is sad because this goes all the way back to when we first encountered these colonials, people there receiving them and treating them with the utmost respect. And what do you always get back? Nothing but pure hatred. And this, by and large, Jake is a compassionate people. All right, constantly taken advantage of, and I believe it's in psychology where they call it. We as a people, we have that what's called crusted over. All right, where you build up this emotional scab. All right. And due to the curses too, that's turned inwardly, all right, because Deuteronomy 28 and 54 and verse 56, all right, about your eyes being evil toward each other, yeah, that's a curse. But in that case, let's go ahead and roll that. Let's see what this Edomite says, and I'll get some scriptures, and we'll go on from there.
Hello viewers, I want us to watch this interesting video. I will be back.
I've lived in 5 different countries in Africa. I've lived in Malawi, Botswana, Zambia, Morocco, and Nigeria. Never once in all my years of living or traveling on the African continent have I been mistreated in any way because of my ethnicity, because of my skin color. And this is in spite of the fact that I come from a country who are guilty for some of the worst colonial crimes ever inflicted throughout human history.
Exactly.
That's right, I was born in Great Britain. And without doubt, the British and the French committed the greatest atrocities across the continent of Africa. The Belgians have a good claim for the greatest atrocity in their treatment of the Congolese, but if one looks at it as
over
an
10 million
entity and the
murdered.
number of countries that were invaded by the British and French colonialists, one will see that they are the worst protagonists. Despite this, and despite the behavior never been mistreated. In fact, I have been welcomed warmly in all of the countries I have lived in or visited. And when in Africa, I don't cocoon myself in some enclave dome which is inhabited by people who like to refer to themselves as expats. I hate that term. But no, I integrate as much as possible within local society. I will go to a shebeen. I will go to any compound and experience life as it is for people in the country where I am based. So whether that's in the village, whether it's in the township, whether it's in the local bar, I will integrate, I will mix, and I am always made welcome. Now contrast that with the way many Africans are treated when they choose to live in the United Kingdom or France or other parts of Europe. The difference is incredible. The everyday racism experienced by African people on the European continent is a crime against humanity. Now there are different types of racism. The most obvious is the day-to-day experience that an African will have whilst living in parts of Europe. The name calling, the staring, the subtle discrimination. And for many Africans, they will just brush it off because it is so common that they just get used to it, sadly. Worse, though, is the institutional and structural racism that Africans have to abide with. The restrictions on their movements. The fact that most passports emulating from the African continent,
Which, by the way, the powers that be here in America try so hard to deny that exists here. All right, and it's a joke. It's not a funny joke, but it's a joke. All right.
continent will only allow Africans to travel visa-free to a handful of countries, and most of those will be other African countries or countries in the Caribbean. And moreover, the difficulty that Africans have finding work in Europe is unimaginable. People who are qualified as doctors, accountants,
Listen to this.
lawyers, university lecturers, nurses, teachers do not have their qualifications and experiences recognized by most European countries. I know many people from Africa working in various parts of Europe as security guards or as care assistants when back home they had highly skilled professional jobs. But that experience is rarely recognized when they come to Europe unless they come as part of a transfer with an existing company. But if they come because they've migrated to Europe, their chances of accessing the sort of...
Now, you have to ask yourself, does the reverse happen here in America when these other people that have, especially in positions such as doctors and things like that, people coming from Europe, you think they have that problem when they come to the States? Or to any other European country, you think that's done to them? I sincerely doubt it. I just now thought about that, so I had a chance to look it up, but come on. Alright. Even here, when they come over here, asking where they went to school, well, I went to school, in Spain or something like that. No. It's because of who we are.
job which they are eminently capable of is slim. Now, if a black person was making this video, they would be quickly dismissed. They'd be dismissed as having an axe to grind.
And part of that too goes back to what? Slavery. Having what you say is not important. In fact, we don't really give a shit. It's not until someone like him validates you. Until you even still happens to this day. it still happens to this day. You're really not believed until one of them, you know, comes up and says, "Oh yeah, yeah, that's right." You know, that's why we always say we gotta get the fuck up out of here, man.
Always trying to find problems. And again, that's part of racism. The fact that I can speak because of my white privilege
Yep.
means that I have a duty to do so. Not because I'm married to an African woman or because I have many African friends, but because I like to think I'm a decent human being who appreciates the value in every person on our planet.
When it comes to
And what's sad is, even though there are those like him that maybe share in his, you know, in his beliefs, whatever have you, they're not the ones that are in power. All right. So whenever you hear someone like him, you know, saying, you know, that's not me, well, okay, cool, but again, you're not in that position to have any kind of any, how am I going to say this? You're not of the majority, all right, that would be in a position to actually change shit, all right. And hey, if you're an Edomite, it really doesn't matter, all right, because Most High, what? He judges you by the nations, all right. Just as we were judged, just as we have been judged, all right. That's already written. But also, the thing is, like I was going to get into, you have to take care of your people first. And this is, again, curses, but, and that's a big one because you can see that we're all fragmented. We're all, you know, I'm going to do my own thing, and especially here in America because, you know, Howard University here had their commencement and everything last weekend, 3 or 4 days ago. And I watched a little of it on TV, like I said, in a prior video, and it was just a look on some of those Jake's faces. They have no clue what's going on. Not to mention the fact, well, I am, but hey, these universities, these HBCUs, hey, the fact of the matter is they're second rate, and these institutions in our so-called communities are just, someone coined it correctly, a sellout. What was the other word? That's all these Edomites do. They find these Jakes in these universities, all right, that are going to work for them and against our people. All right, your ambitions, all that, all right, is turned against. They're so cunning and manipulative. While you think you're in it for one thing, you know, they ended up turning you, you know, these what do you call it, Boule and all these other organizations and shit. You got the Masons, you got the 5%ers, you got, and then these Greek fraternities and sororities. All right, again, that's biblical. These are the, you know, that period in between Malachi and Matthew. That's where you had your, you know, the Israelites that took on Greekish fashions. All right, and the sad thing about it is, we try to tell people that, hey, this is why they took certain books out of the Bible, namely the Maccabees. All right, because it covers that period, that fills in that gap. All right, it tells you that the Greeks that it's talking about, because they could have easily put the correct word, which would have been Hellenist. All right, but Greek lends to so much confusion, and that was done on purpose because you're thinking of, so-called white folk. No, Hellenists are as Greek-speaking Jews or Israelites. I hate using that word Jew. All right, Greek-speaking Israelites. That's all it was. And how they became. And each time I look at these fraternities and sororities, you're looking back toward that time. Because that's exactly what, taking on those Greekish customs. All right. That ain't got nothing to do with you. And they're so quick to pledge and go through all that humiliation. And, they end up wherever they end up. Whether how far they go, all right, usually depends on just how foul of an act, how much. Yeah, it's some wicked ass shit once you get into Freemasonry and all that shit. Yeah, that's some demonic warlocks and witches, shit like that. All right. But in any case, let me get back to this. Yeah, Jake is so quick. They'll treat everybody else, and again, we're getting into the curses. They'll treat any other person but their own with kindness, compassion. It's fucked up. It is fucked up, but this is because of what? This is what we deserve. Let me get a couple of scriptures here. This will be, let's see. Whoops. All right, let's see. This is Isaiah 58 and 7. It says, is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house, when thou feel the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou had not thyself from thine own flesh, all right, from thine own. And what you have here, for some reason it won't come up. Hold on. So I will have to show you on this. When I went into Isaiah 58 and 7, it talks about how to deal, distribute, hide thyself means to be strange towards them and not to relieve them in their poverty. But again, but it says flesh, so it's talking about your own people, all right? And I want to show you right here if you can see. Let's see where it says flesh, kindred, Genesis 29:14, bone of my flesh, also brethren in common descent from Adam. Now look what they added. And brethren in Hamashiach Yahushua. So that leaves it open for, you see how slick these devils are? Romans 9th chapter takes care of all that. Alright? It's talking about your kindred, it's talking about your people. It's not talking about every other nation, which is what Christianity preaches. Why a lot of our people are fucked up. Alright? Also brethren in common descent from Adam. That's it. That's the nation of Israel. But they added, and brethren in Christ. See, that's what you gotta watch. Alright? They try to be slick. So, let's see what else I had. Oh, he had mentioned something that I wanted to get to too much. I can pull up on this. This is Micah. Because he was wondering, well, why? After all the shit that we give you, that you... Well, see, that's a scary thing. You have to wonder, my man. Because this will happen. What happens when that switch is flipped and the Lord allows us, as he says in, I believe it's Ezekiel 25th chapter. I'll get it. But first I want to get this in Micah, it tells you that this is Micah 5 and 7. All right, we're talking about that remnant, and it says, "And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as a dew from the Most High Yahweh, as the flowers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of man." Here's the point, verse 8. All right, it says, "And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both tread it down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver." All right, and that Ezekiel I was talking about. All right, let's go on down here. Let's see, 25. I believe it's 12. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this is Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 12. All right, and it says, "Thus saith the Most High Yahweh, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, the nation of Edom," that's your so-called white people, the ones that are in rulership, all right, "and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel." All right, "And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger, and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Most High Yahweh." So, yeah, you. He was not boasting. I think he was saying that in a way that, like, damn, this is really strange, As shitty as we treat your people, and then you show us nothing but kindness when we come to your countries, like. But again, the time will come. That will not be. All right. So let's go ahead and get a little of what he says, and I'm gonna skip forward about 5 minutes or so, because he's just talking about his personal experience.
Hospitality. Majority of African countries are known for that, especially my country, Ghana. You come to Ghana, and the only thing you are going to experience is peace, hospitality. We are so welcoming that many, especially many diasporans, are now moving to Africa. I'm going to share my experience in Kenya also, when I was there in 2006 to 2010.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip forward because he's gonna tell his personal experience, and that this is something that these devils do too. They spread this disinformation, misinformation about how crime infested and how dirty and disease ridden Africa is. Right, and that's what he's getting into here. But I'm gonna skip forward. He said, he didn't, experience none of that. I'm not telling you not to be careful. This is wherever you go. All right. Let's see. Where did I? Let's see. I think it was around here. Hold on.
Janitor, you'll be taking.
Yeah, he's talking about where we, about the fact that the Edomite talked about, you can be qualified, you can be, have gone to school, be a doctor in your own country, but when you go to the European countries, they're not going to recognize that. You're going to be, as he's talking about here, a janitor or some other type of menial work.
Taking care of old women, but maybe you were a graduate, you are a doctor. Until you pass through their system, they don't even recognize you as someone who is educated, or as a professional their systems. Most of Africans are facing racism in most of these European countries. But they have no option because they think that is the only place they can succeed. And they compare the money they make in these countries and they compare it to their countries and they realize that country is far better than Africa. So most of the times they will go and they are going to be mistreated, they are going to be abused, racists are going to abuse them, but they don't have any option than to say yes I do. That is why we are sitting here trying to liberate Africa, trying to voice out to our leaders that home is home.
And I hate to keep bringing it up, but the fact that best example I can think of, but this is why Gaddafi was such a threat, because with that new monetary system he was thinking about implementing, where using the natural resources, he was a big threat. He had to go. And to show you how, when we talk about hypocrisy, they made such a big stink about, look, Gaddafi was supposed to be this, terrorist and all this shit, and as someone pointed out, his people were so well taken care of. They didn't have all this bullshit going on there. In other words, there was order. Alright? But here it is. Now you have all this stuff going on in a certain region of the world. The Western Asia, that they're just slaughtering thousands upon thousands of people that cannot defend themselves. But you're not only not taking action against them, alright, you're against all the ceasefire agreements that come up. You're also providing arms to the ones that are doing the murdering. Wow. You see? And you're wondering why nobody likes you. You have the nerve to wonder. And these idiots, these diehard, I'm an American, those type brain dead sons of bitches, alright? Can't see this. A lot of it is cognitive dissonance. Let's just call it for what it is. Alright, but we're in a time now that these devils are being exposed. So it's a lot of things going on now. Alright. And this is going to be an interesting summer, I'll just say that. Very, very interesting. Actually looking forward to it. Alright, but let's get some more some more scriptures here. Let's see. Oh crap. Alright, so we got that out of the way. Let's go to, let's see. Let's go to 1 Timothy. Let's see. 3 and 5, I think is what I want. Let's see. Says, oops, real sensitive here. Hold on. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church? For the Alright. Again, going back to what I read and pointed out Isaiah 58 and 7 and Romans 9, where we talk about we're not talking about spiritual Israelites, which is what the Christian church likes to claim that that's what it's talking about. No, it's not. was. All right. We're talking about a certain nation of people. All right. Again, so let's go to still staying in First Timothy. Let's go to 5. And let's see, 8. And it says, "But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith in his workmen, and he is worse than an infidel." All right, get that old English. Sometimes I get. All right. Let's read that again. "But if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel." And I remember a video that this young lady from Ghana made right after this shit happened, kicked off in Ukraine, a little over 2 years ago now. And I still got it. I recorded it. I can't remember where it is now, but she made an excellent point. You worried about going over there to, I'm talking about these jakes, that want to go over there and fight with and for Ukraine, these racist bastards. All right. And she made the point, said, well, she was talking about countries over there in Africa. Well, you complain about how racist they are. Well, fine. All right. Concentrate on what's going on in your own countries with these pieces of shit that people like those Ukrainians set up. All right. So they can be puppet leaders, so they can get their way in these countries. Concentrate on getting them motherfuckers out and building your own shit up. And that's why I read these scriptures here, because you're not taking care of your own, but you're willing to go jump and fight for somebody else who don't give a fuck about you in that situation there. It makes no fucking sense whatsoever. And even what America's doing, you got all these problems here, and you're gonna and Jake, I just could never understand. You're gonna put on a cape for people that, I'm talking about in case these Palestinians now. I don't give a fuck. You think they're gonna go to bat for you like you're going to bat for them? Hell no. All right, these people are in our land. Yeah, you might feel some kind of way because, hey, these people, they can't fight back. But at the end of the day, and some of them then might, as we understand it, being on looking at the spiritual aspects of it, a lot of them could be jakes. We just have to, have to point that out. All right. But again, there's so much going on. The times that we're in now is unlike any other. All right. It's unlike any other. That's why when I start the videos, I say time is growing short, because these prophecies, all right, point that out. All right. They bear witness to that. All right. So that's about it. Let's see. Points you made.
Look at what this man is saying. He said every African country he has visited has been welcome. Yes, maybe
Yeah,
the
'cause he
majority
went to
says
5.
that when the whites normally comes to Africa, they receives a more welcoming atmosphere than if
Yeah.
another African
Because the
travel.
reverse sure isn't true. All right. He talked about all the staring and name calling. One lady. When was it? Was it late summer? Last summer, I guess it was. She told about her trip. Where did she go? Was it London? I think she was either Nigerian or I can't remember. Edomite just came. She was walking across the street. Edomite just came up to her and right across the face. I'm like, what the fuck? But she pointed out the fact that happens more often than you think. And Jake just takes it because, hey, he's in a foreign country. He's trying to make a better life for himself or his family, whatever. And they just take the shit. Yeah, fucked up, ain't it? So I'm gonna end it there. I just did that to show you that, hey, again, what we saying is sad, it's fucked up, but our complaints are, you don't know what you're talking about, you're just playing a race card, calling everybody that's called racial gaslighting. Alright? Hey, so once again, I hope you were edified. I hope you were made aware that, hey, this shit, wherever Jake goes, those curses are, quit. In fact, I was going to, Deuteronomy 28 and 16, wherever you are in the world, doesn't matter. Alright? Can't outrun the curses. Once again, this has been a video that says we are the problem, not so-called black people. This is an Edomite from London. Englishman exposes Western hypocrisy. And that's exactly what it is. So, with that, I like to always, once again, point out the benefits of prayer and fasting. So with that, until the next video.